Always a pleasure. Thanks for your time. Big fight night, not least because you got a card at the Copper Box and your man, Billy Joe, is getting to fight at last. It's been such a while. But also because you're showing GGG, Canelo later on in the evening on Box Nation. Massive evening, massive weekend of fighting. There's also a big fight going on in Manchester. We'll talk about that another time. What are your thoughts on the card in terms of the main event first and foremost? But I really want to talk to you about Anthony Yarde, because he's a real hot prospect and somebody who's making a lot of noise in our community.
He certainly is. Anthony for me is one of the most exciting young guys out there, and I was, right from day one when Tunde and I sat down and discussed it and I met him, I just knew that he had something special about him, and he's certainly proved that in the ring. And I'm sure he's going to go from strength to strength. He's a student of boxing. He loves his boxing. He's fit. He lives the life. He's not one of these guys that you see blowing up and becoming fat. He just always looks ready to fight. And I think Tunde's done a most fantastic job with him. It's something like Tunde's. It seems like he's been waiting for all his life for this, this athlete to come along. And there, he's suddenly found him. And up to now, he's done everything that's been asked of him. He's got a long, long way to go still. There's still some question marks there. We haven't seen him hit on the gym. We haven't seen him over 10 or 12 rounds. And I understand that with people who want to see it. But at the moment, it just seems that everybody's fighting. Once he unleashes that old Scud missile, once that hits you on the chin, it's all over. I think he's a phenomenal prospect.
And the main event, Billy Joe versus Willie.
Well, it's an intriguing fight. First of all, as you mentioned earlier, Bill's been out the ring for quite a while, not through a fault of his own. He did have an injury, but let down on fights. Supposed to have fought Eubanks, supposed to have fought Golovkin. We had the contracts all done for those, but unfortunately the guys never signed. And he lost his way a bit. He lost a bit of enthusiasm. He lost his desire. And we sat down, and as he mentioned in the press conference earlier, he was talking about retiring. And I we had a real sort of heart to heart. He's changed his whole attitude, his environment. He's moved out of his environment. He's gone up to Sheffield and into Spain with his new trainer Dominic Ingle. He's got him in fantastic shape. I've never seen him in this shape before as a pro, and more importantly, mentally he's there. That's a really important aspect of any fighter's makeup. So he's there and he's fighting a guy who, is no slouch. Willie Monroe is his mandatory challenger. For both of them, there's a massive carrot there, not just in fighting the winner of Golovkin and Alvarez or Canelo. It's the riches they can get. They got the fight, but it's the riches you get from that. And they hold the winner of this fight on Saturday is going to hold a very important piece of the jigsaw, which is the WBO belt, where the other guy's going to have the 3 belts. So the winner of that fight has gotten a chance to get involved in that unification match, which will be life-changing money. And speaking for Bill, it could be a life-changing fight for him, because if he comes through that fight, if he wins this one, and really looking ahead and crossing my fingers, he was to win, do that, I think it would be one of the biggest performances in my lifetime for a British boxer to have done.
You've seen it all in terms of the build-up. Anything surprise you about today and yesterday?
No, well, I didn't see yesterday. I see the film. I didn't see the stuff yesterday, but no, not at all. Bill is what he is. Bill, all fighters, all people are different. Fighters are different. Some are quiet spoken. Some, don't sort of respond to it. Obviously, Willie, at the opening of the press conference, just said, "Right, I'm here. It's a contractual obligation. I don't want to speak to anybody." And John Rawlings done a great job and got him talking. And at the end of the day, the pair of them said what they had to say. So Bill is what he is. Bill comes out, says what he's got to say. He's always looking for the advantage mentally as well as physically. He's always there. He's always looking for the edge. And he may have touched on a nerve, but we'll see. One thing's for sure, Willie Monroe has got to come and fight after what's been said. So Bill's, I think, guaranteed us that we're going to get the best of a Willie Monroe, because he ain't going to be able to do any different. Otherwise, he's going to embarrass himself.
Lastly, Daniel Dubois, you're building your own heavyweight, aren't you?
Yeah.
He looks very focused for a young fighter and somebody who's definitely in the infancy of his career. Talk about the prospect that he could be moving forward.
Well, he just turned 20 last week. I mean, he's a fantastic prospect. There's all the stories that have gone around what he's done with everybody in the gym, and they're true stories. Everything you hear is true. He is phenomenal, but he's a young guy. He only had, I think, 6 senior fights as a amateur. He's a good puncher. He's a natural athlete. It's a bit like Anthony Yarde. It's funny, the both of them. You look at them both; they look like they can fight every day of the week. They're so in such good condition. He's got long way to go yet, a lot to learn. But we are putting him in. We're not sort of messing around. We're putting him in for title fights already. I think he's capable. At least I hope my judgment is right. And I think he's one of those guys that will rise to the challenge. For me, he's just got that look about him of a guy who's not fazed by anything, and eventually he's going to come out of his self. He's quite, as a man physically, because he's still got to do that yet. God knows what he's going to be like in a couple of years' time, but also, in himself as a person, and with his more confidence in dealing with the public and being in the spotlight. That's going to all happen. But up to now, he's done everything that's been asked of him. He's not put a foot wrong. He trains well. Martin Bauer's done a great job of him. He's not put a foot wrong up to us yet. So he's got. He's fighting on the guy's fighting AJ on Saturday. He's coming to fight. This is a tough test for him, and it's an early test because you don't normally get guys fighting in title fights at heavyweight until they've had about at least 10 or 12 fights. You know what I mean? So we are pushing him up a bit from that point of view, but. I believe in him and I've got confidence in him, and hopefully this will be a fight that he'll learn a lot from. Because at this stage of his career, like Anthony, they want fights that they learn from. Learning fights. Being in the gym, learning their craft, learning the tricks of the trade. That is all experience. Everything they gain there, every bit of experience they gain, that's money in the bank for them. And as I say, for both these guys, I'm delighted to be involved with them. It's a privilege and a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to guiding them on to bigger and better things.
I think we all are. Just before I let you go, who wins? GGG, Canelo, in a word?
I fancy the G-Man. I fancy him. I fancied him from the beginning. I know people are looking at the fight he had with Jacobs, but in my opinion, he's probably one of the most active champions out there, fighting on a regular basis, always in the gym. Phenomenal athlete. I think that that fight at the time he could have done with, if I'd have been involved with him, I would have said have a rest like he's done. He's supposed to have fought Bill. We had it all done. It was going to happen, but that didn't happen, and I think there's a reason for that. And I think the reason the fight was made with Canelo is purely because of what they feel was some chinks that they see in his armour in the fight with Jacobs. And we'll see whether that's true or not. What I like about Golovkin, he's going in the other guy's backyard. That 95, probably 99% of the fans are all going to be behind Canelo, but he's fearless from that point of view. Canelo's coming up a weight. I know he struggled to make light middleweight, but he's come up now to middleweight. And it's just going to be a great fight. I just think that, he's just got all those ingredients of one of those throwback fights from years and years ago. And the way they fight, neither of them are going to take a backward step. And you can watch it live on Box Nation pay-per-view.
Who we've been supporting from the beginning. Thanks for your time, Frank. Appreciate that.
Appreciate all your support and all the fan support, because they're important to us.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, mate.